Yes, yes, yes. I am born in Harlem, raised and grew up most of my adult life in the Bronx, and for the last decade or so, living in Brooklyn. So yes, I'm very, very, very New York. And yes, this was my first time for Mother in the Motherland. I witnessed beautiful children frolicking about with their mothers of the village selling fresh fruit and vegetables that they had grown. This is where I wanted to be. This is where I wanted to spend money. I purchased what we call here lollipops. I purchased them as a way to spend money in the village for my own consumption and to possibly bring back to the States. Unbeknownst to me, these were local favorites. I'm not sure who tweeted it, but word definitely spread fast. Well, I spent one full day in the village. That was all that was allowed, really. And I wanted the full village experience, if you will. So the contrast didn't bother me at all. The point was for it to be as different from life with skyscrapers and buildings and electricity. So I was grateful for the contrast. I was grateful that it was really different. I mean that everybody that occupies or lives in the village, I did everything that they did. I participated voluntarily at that and everything that they did. I pitched water from a well. I didn't catch a fish. I tried, but there were two gentlemen that were nice enough to allow me to pose and take a picture with the fish that they caught for me. Oh, and the fish was good. The fish was good. Before you even asked, it was literally the best fish I ever had. There are a few buildings in the village, places for worship, restaurants, and hotels being built. This particular building was on sale. None of the business owners that I met were Tanzanian. Now, this moment ultimately became the highlight of this experience that I didn't even know I needed. We danced, we sang, my sisters adorned me with different headdresses or hijabs. This encounter didn't start out this way though. Let me paint this picture for you. The women, they were all sitting on the porch as I approached. They weren't responsive to my waves or my smiles. As I began to walk on, one of the young women jumped off of the porch and came up to me. She began grabbing on my cell phone. There was a slight tug of war before she spoke, and she said a universal term that broke the ice and gave me an experience I will never forget. She leaned in and eagerly exclaimed, "Selfie!" And the rest is history. I visited a primary school located in the village in Kigomani. The head instructor, Ali, was quite welcoming and extended a generous and informative tour. He showed me pictures of an annual trip that the top performing students were rewarded with. The trip was to Stone Town. According to TheGuardian.com, was host to one of the world's largest and last open slave markets, now replaced by the Anglican Cathedral Church of God in Christ. The altar is said to be in the exact place where the main whipping post of the slave market used to be. In the square, there's a well-known monument to the slaves, a few human figures in chains emerging from a pit, as well as a museum of slavery. He provided the means to donate to the school so that more Stella students could attend the annual trip and to contribute to supplies and materials such as toner and books. This is a sole computer which is shared amongst all of the students. I was shown the curriculum, which is heavily centered around mathematics and science. The children of this primary school in Kigamani were welcoming, and they were warm, and they were bright. This was another extremely impactful moment I didn't know I needed. My time at the primary school was overwhelming in a great way. I didn't really have any expectations, but if I did, this far exceeded them. Wow. And what's your name? Ali. What do you want to be, Ali? What are you studying to become? What are you studying to become? What do you want to be? All subjects? Yeah? Do you get your grades? Are you able to go on the trip? Yeah? So what do you want to be when you're finished? What do you want to
What
be?
is your ambition? How your targets after finish school? Nini malengo yako baada kuwa unataka uwe nani?
A teacher. In what subject? All subjects?
Science.
Science. Yes. Okay. Good night.
Kamu yang gini ni. Ini nama wala siang ni.
What's your name? Stephanie. Yes. How old are you? You want to know how old I am? I'll whisper it to you. How old are you? You're 14. And what do you want to be when you grow up? You want to be a teacher? Yeah? In America. Do you want to come to America? Can I help you?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. So much. Okay, yes.
So we can say that you are welcome to enjoy your vacation.
Like any other people, I presume. At first they were a little apprehensive, and then eventually, they warmed up to me and they embraced me. I mean, I guess that's to be expected. Somebody's walking around with a camera, and of course, I asked permission first before I started filming. But yeah, I'm from New York City, so anybody that's too friendly immediately, those are the ones we're a little leery of. The main language of Tanzania is Swahili. Before I embarked upon this journey, I familiarized myself with a few greetings. Jambo, pole pole, Ashante, and their resilient mantra, Hakuna Matata, just to name a few. This was not the images of Africa I grew up seeing on television, nor the impoverished Africa they taught us about in schools. Quite the contrary, the village is totally dependent on itself and full of natural resources. I didn't encounter indigence or hunger, although we're well aware that it does exist everywhere. What I encountered was love and togetherness, a kinship, people who pool their resources and responsibilities to take care of each other as a collective. While I know Tanzania is but a country in Africa, this experience was worth the flight we've been told is dreadfully long, and it did not lend any truth to the narrative that as American-born, I wouldn't be welcomed. Quite the contrary, I was fully embraced by my brothers and sisters and endearingly dubbed Dada or Sister.